The Goner vessel, if you skip straight ahead to a Chapter 2 game, will have all of their default values except for mind, which implies that Chris chose these attributes and that they feel love towards the vessel.
This seemed to trip people up, so I'll explain it further here. Half-Bred Chaos elaborated on it further in their Why Does Chris Have a Save File video, but there are two reasons why I made this statement. One, each of the default choices is something that fits Chris in some way. Their favorite fruit is pie, which is sweet. Mind is intentionally coded to be option 0 like all the other default options. And you can actually check the code here. Toby intentionally went out of his way to make mind option 0 by setting kindness to a -1 value. They lack everything else except for their mind. This is further corroborated by checking the story flags for Chapter 1. They didn't talk to anyone in Hometown, and the only items the party has are amber cards, the basic weapons, and the white ribbon.
Chapter 1 is, so far, the only time we've seen this Field of Hopes and Dreams banner.
This is simultaneously an Earthbound reference and a Toho project reference. Toho has a similar announcement banner for music in some games, according to commenter Ocean Flowers.
There are some purely cosmetic abilities that party members will gain when holding certain items, and Vampire with the Absorb Axe. Thorn Ring and Twisted Sword affect Noelle's ability to be put under a trance.
Vampire actually heals 10% of Susie's HP per axe swing, and 2 HP during the Garrison fight. Thorn Ring and Twisted Sword do both affect trance, but the Twisted Sword is currently only equipable by Chris.
2 bathrooms exist in the Dark World so far. The Royal Flush in Card Kingdom, and the one Spamton uses as a changing room in the Weird Route. This implies that Darkners have bowel movements.
This was unintentionally misleading on my part. I misremembered that Spamton actually changes behind the basement door. The bathroom I was thinking of is the one where the Bairdley statue is flushed down the toilet. Also, it's not direct proof that Darkners have to take toilet breaks. I was just trying to be funny.
Violet Tormentor. This is meant to play on your expectations of her going in. You already have a bias against her.
Commenters have asked me to point out that Susie did threaten to eat Chris's face in the beginning of the chapter. My intentions weren't to judge anyone for assuming that Susie is a violent person, especially since I did the exact same thing, but more so to point out the clever wordplay going on here.
Instead of being written in camel case, in the localization, Queen's dialogue is formatted to fit HTML and is mostly inside of brackets.
The localization portion is correct, but I misremembered my programming terms here. Queen's dialogue formatting is actually more similar to Pascal case, not camel case.
Her lamau is replaced with W's, as a shortening of wararu, www, or as I like to call this phrase, woo woo woo.
You can also pronounce this as wada wada wada. It's also, of course, short for World Wide Web. Thank you, commenters, AmbiPie and Flinkstop.
Chapter 2 has probably the most subtle It's Over 9,000 reference in existence.
This is true, I just think I missed an opportunity in pointing out that the original translation that made It's Over 9,000 a meme in the first place was wrong. It's actually 8,000 in Japanese.
The Peepus is a reference to Beepus, which is a misspelling of Pepsi that Toby would use for error messages in Undertale's code.
I forgot a couple of Peepus facts here. Scissor Banner 9735 point out that while the Czech dialogue calls them an invasive species of freshwater clam, their real-life counterparts live in saltwater. Also, apparently they're supposed to be pronounced Pippies.
Chapters 3 and 4's release date announcement was dropped on the same day as Silk Songs.
I misremembered this. While they were both featured in the same Nintendo Direct, Silk Song was simply a 2025 release. We did not get a release date confirmation from Game Cherry until August 21st.
Ram is the only shopkeeper in the game that lacks a shop sprite.
I should have said series, not game. Also, if you want to be pedantic, the vending machines are the shopkeepers in this chapter, not him. Whether he counts as one or not depends on how you define shopkeeper. I misremembered this because Garrison has a battle sprite in Deltarune and a shop sprite in Undertale, and because I have Ram horse blinders on forever. Black Knife references Black Knight, a song to be made for the webcomic Cucumber Quest. It's actually Nightmare Knight. Whoops. The Knight is the first fight in the game that is impossible to beat with Mercy. You don't have to kill the first bird in the first board of the original game. If you choose the Birdly option when Ralsei asks Chris who they're going to the festival with, they will start shouting in disbelief. 3 in a row. Woof. Let's tackle them one at a time. For the Knight, this is technically untrue in 2 ways depending on how you want to look at it. Chapter 2 has the Spineo fight for Snowgrave, which cannot be beaten with Mercy, though I consider this optional since not everyone is going to play the weird route. Giga Queen, meanwhile, can't be spared, but you can technically skip this fight by choosing the retire option after losing to her once. So, technically this is still a true statement, but I should have elaborated here. The bird is not an incorrect statement, but I wanted to revisit this since it was pointed out to me by Gabriel Rochada Silvia 3183 that you can also avoid killing a few enemies in the Ice Palace if you're careful. Some enemies can be simply walked past, and one of the grey monsters that you would normally turn into ice to solve one of the puzzles can be spared simply by walking onto the trigger. Now, as for choosing the Bairdly option, this one is debatable specifically because we don't actually know Chris's feelings about this. They could have been going, Lamau, I can't believe this will actually choose Bairdly for all we know. It's best practice to avoid projecting onto Chris, and I appreciate everyone who corrected me on this one.
If you don't recruit every TV World Darkener, Tana will not be repaired.
The only requirements for saving Tana are recruiting Shadow Guys and Pippins.
There used to be a bug in the game where you could have multiple Lancers in your inventory thanks to the Gachapon.
Still true. I just wanted to talk about this one a bit more. Most likely the reason why this was removed was because filling your inventory with Lancers could soft block you out of getting key items, like the Lancer and Odd controllers, or the egg. I personally think that this could have been remedied by removing all Lancers from your inventory once you leave the Gachapon room, similarly to how it was done in the patch, but still let you have 5 bajillion Lancers in your inventory. That's comedy, baby.
This also prevents you from writing in the shorthand for a certain slur.
2 slurs.
Chris puts their phone on speaker mode when making the phone call. This either means they weren't all that concerned about us listening in on their plans, or that for whatever reason, they wanted us to.
Still correct, but Chris could have put their speaker on for a couple of other reasons too. Iron2478 pointed out that this could have been done due to Chris not being able to hear very well, and I want to add that they were actively using their hands at the start of the call. And Eric M8373 brought up Sodaman's theory that Chris was trying to impersonate the soul, since Noelle describes their voice lately as sounding like it's been coming from a speaker. Chris could have done this to keep the other person on the phone unaware that they were leaving the soul out of the loop.
In the English version, it's specifically a reference to Gear from Invader Zim because of this Silva Gunner video.
I fell for the classic blunder. The channel name is Siva Gunner, with the second I capitalized to confuse new viewers. Also, Grr.
Noelle, who is implied to be a vegetarian, even says that she'd prefer eating meat in an unused line of code.
Herbivore.
Noelle, despite being a female deer, has horns, something that is normally characteristic of males.
As brought up by commenter Somflagraph7601, Noelle doesn't have horns, she has antlers. Horns and antlers differ in that the former are made out of keratin, like how we have hair and fingernails, while the latter is bone covered in skin and fur.
Crown's Ralsei's Ralsei, Lamau, Choo-Choo Train Mode. Shams Gerson.
I got a lot of comments about my pronunciations during this video, which I suppose is fair. I am aware I pronounce things weirdly. I do this because I have brain damage, and not the jokey haha kind. While I put in the effort to do it the correct way for foreign words and names, it doesn't usually occur to me to do the same for English words, or even that there is a different, more agreed upon way to pronounce things. I can do it. Gerson, Birdly, Ralsei, Siva Gunner. It just causes me a lot of undue stress for something otherwise so objective. I hope you can understand.
Its flavor text reads, "The shadow purified by the cat points towards the party receiving the item by Sham." though I've seen some people make the case that the cat could also be a friend.
The cat here could also be catty, given her obsession with the occult.
Chris's pronouns, which are they, them, currently sit at 59 citations on the Deltarune wiki.
This number will grow in a week.